Okay, Virgo, this is going to be your reading for spirituality for the fall of 2025. We're going to get rolling here with the Gaia deck. So the first card that we have for you from the Gaia deck is 13, the Queen of Earth. Great abundance, great capacity to level out. This person really has everything conquered. She's really the last of the queens to go through before you become an empress. And again, she runs a good business, and she can also go home and take care of a home, and she can also be a great mother and be balanced in that. The flow of her life is quite slow and at a good pace. Doesn't mean she's boring or dull. It means that she's taking care of every aspect as she goes. She doesn't miss out on anything, and it's quite hard to fool this Queen of Earth if you are in that mode. Well, I don't know, that's something I don't normally say, is fooling. But nonetheless, this is an energy that Virgo is an earth energy. You may be, this may be symbolizing your energy or someone around you in this way of great balance. This is also a past energy card, so this may be an energy we're coming from. This grounded, centered, I can handle everything in the pace that I'm going. I don't miss any details. I don't get caught up on things, and I don't lose my touch. This kind of stuff. Very much in a good flow of life here, and we have a great capacity to take life by the horns, and it's because of the pace that we're going that everything seems to be working smoothly. So as we go into the present here, Virgo, what is your card from the Gaia deck? We have the 9 of Earth. Interesting. This is about compassion. This is really good, because if we're in a slow flow and we're coming forward with our compassion, that's where the universe wants you to be. That is perfect, balanced energy to come from. And it may be so perfect that we are actually gaining insight into other territories here besides the self and those in our immediate physical realm here. Yeah, I'm getting the ability of clairvoyance coming into view, coming into focus. Is showing me going out of focus and into focus, like we're focusing on gaining some abilities here in the psychic realm. We've got a good hold of our instinct because we don't let things fly by too fast. We notice everything. We take note of everything. And this is on the level of the physical world, just intellectually is a good thing to gain details and to gain your smarts, is to just pay attention to the details, and you won't be tricked. I'm getting that again. I'm trying to replace it with another word, and it just like, no, there's somebody here may want to trick us. Somebody here, hopefully we're not in an energy of tricking. I don't feel with what the cards are saying so far energetically that is anything that we would tap into. If anything, it's someone trying to do that to us, trick us into thinking things that aren't true. So our heightened abilities are coming to our awareness here, which will bump us up on another level to be able to see through veils here. So I don't feel we're going to have any problems in that way. We may have people in our universe not understand that we have these abilities already, which is fine with us. We will be able to see quite clearly through things and be able to, at the flow we're at here, be able to compassionately leave these people behind because they're just really not for our highest good. As we move into the future, what's the energy there? Heaven and earth. Okay, this is a deeper reading than I was expecting for Virgo. Heaven and earth. I feel like we're trying to tap into outer realms here. Other realms in the physical earth, which is very much out of our comfort zone, by the way. We like to be grounded in the physical reality, but something here is influencing us to take a trip on the wild side of things. And I'm feeling psionics. I'm feeling psychic energy. I'm feeling a need to understand these psychic energies more. And it's because we are gaining these abilities. We want to know how valid is this that we go forward. This is part of that process. They're showing me that multiplication is 572 plus 80. Well, it's plus 87, 659. So something about, we're maybe very analytical about things. We like to have things on paper. We like to have stats, whatever. And this realm that we're walking into, beware that we're not going to get this. We're not going to get solid proof. We will get spiritual proof, and spiritual truths will come to be seen, but we're not going to get the kind of scientific grounded proof, because what's going to happen, this person is looking for validation for that which is coming in their psychic field. Their abilities are coming to bear here, and they don't believe in abilities. They think abilities are wrong or bad or whatever. So they're getting kind of antsy. Okay, I got to look into this because I'm starting to gain them myself. Does that mean I'm being infiltrated? Yes, but it's not a bad thing. Someone's been brainwashed here to think that the abilities that you come across are evil. They're not. But we may not believe that. And we may be going down a trail that will take us a while to figure that out. But nonetheless, heaven and earth, we are going to tap into that heavenly realm, if you will. And by heaven, in this card, for this Virgo, what I'm getting is we're going to start tapping into all that is unseen on the physical earth. Again, we're gaining clairvoyant abilities. We're gaining precognitive abilities. We're gaining insights, higher realms of gut instinct. There's less can be just flown by us unnoticed. We're gaining more levels where we understand things on. This is a natural flow. This is a natural progression. Each and every individual is going to get some of this. Some will be in more resistance than you are, but you at this time are very curious. There's a resistance to want to go in and understand it because we feel it is bad. It is not on the good side. That needs to diminish in order for us to truly understand. But if we do get past that part of it being bad, then we will gain some insight here on an intellectual level, and we will gain more proof in the way that we want it. But I hate to tell you, I got to tell you the bad news. The bad news is you are going to gain your supernatural abilities here to a higher degree, and to a degree that may even create some anxiety for you. Unfortunately, we do not have a belief system within us that will help us deal with that. Okay? We have to, that's the track we're on. We're not changing that, is what I'm getting told. So as we go forward, we're going to gain more anxiety because these are going to be ramped up quite heavily. And this will bring us to a degree where either we will have to see someone about anxiety problems, or we will have to tap into this, which again, there's high resistance for, to a degree where we have to see people that we don't want to see, to talk about things we don't want to talk about. And that again is in high resistance. So I feel like we're not going to gain a lot of headway here in the way that we want it. But there is a trail here of advancement. This is hard to express because it's really somebody that has a belief system that prevents them from evolving in the spiritual realms, but they're evolving nonetheless. And now the anxiety comes because my belief system tells me this thing, and the reality is I've got this thing, and I can't make them meet. It doesn't mesh. So now we got an anxiety factor here. So we're going to continue in the next road here. We got the Mucha on top of the Queen of Earth. Again, in the past, we were very balanced. I feel like this balance is going to be shaken. Why? Because our abilities are heightening. And somewhere, some way, someone has either told us, or we have a belief system that makes us believe that this is not a good thing. So we're resisting it highly. Okay, so on the Queen of Earth, what do we get there to emphasize our past? We have the Knight of Swords. This Knight of Swords is injured. He's got red wings. He's been flying in the fire. Is what I'm, just go with me here. Flying in the fire, his horse is actually haggard. Like he's ready. His horse is ready to give up. He's ready to give up. There's a sense that in our past, we may have had an energy where we didn't really want to continue going forward here. But this is on top of the Queen of Earth energy that is overcome. So we'll just leave that sit there. It just may be an energy field to validate this is your reading. Now, as we move into the present here, I feel a great compassion to those in our physical realm. I feel we are learning about compassion, how to be compassionate towards others, how to help those who need help. And we are starting to see with our third eye, our psychic senses, where to and not to give this compassion. This is good. It's discernment. But again, there's the more that this realm opens, the more nervous we seem to get on the Virgo side. So on top of that compassionate energy, what do we get for the Virgo? We get the Three of Swords. Heartbreak, hurt, and sorrow. Great pain has come from giving outward is what I'm getting here. There's a continuance of that negative energy coming through here. We've been hurt by someone's compassion. That doesn't even make sense. Give me a moment. I don't know. I can't. No energy of the cards that I've already laid is going back to this. So I'll continue forward. Something amiss here. It may have been just something in our immediate now that has happened that has created heartbreak for us. We may be in heartbreak energy. There may have been something here that made us feel like we don't want to continue, but nonetheless, what's going on in the future here? On the heaven and earth, again, there's a heavenly realm that wants to connect with you, having to do with your abilities to suss things out. They want to help you and ground you out in that way. There is some resistance here. There's a belief system and whatnot that is preventing us from encompassing that wholeheartedly without guilt. There's a lot of guilt here for like feeling it's a bad, if I embrace these feelings of clairvoyance, if I embrace my inner instinct, if I embrace too far, I feel like I'm doing wrong, like I should be punished. Okay, so this has got to release in order for us to go to the future cleanly. Now, heaven and earth. On top of that, the clarification, we get to Ten of Swords. What the hell is going on here? Whoa, something has come through our field here and just wiped us out. Very odd, this energy. It's like creating, or is this... Okay, I don't... time and space is hard to judge here. I don't know if this is happening now, has happened, or will happen in the future. I kind of get a sense that it has happened. And these next three cards should be in the free and clear is the sense I'm getting. I haven't pulled them yet. But the sense I'm getting is we've had a rough go here. Like a cutoff in our life where things were a certain way before and they're going to be a different way after. And I feel like the first three cards were our past. And usually I do, okay, I go horizontally and vertically, and the vertical is usually the past, and here it's going horizontal. So there's something of significance to that. Give me a moment. Yeah, it's like all the energies are aligning in rows opposite of what I look at. So the sense they're giving me is we have to look at things differently than we're currently looking at them. And I do get a sense that the way we think is not conducive to us evolving in the future. It's conducive to us shutting things down. Now, something has happened to us, will happen to us, or has happened to us that has created a great cutting off of energy here. We were going down a certain road and we are stopped dead from going down that road any further. That's it. You're not going down this road. And now, again, there's this compassion, this balance, and this curiosity for heaven and earth. Let's pull these next three cards and see if I can make sense of the rest of this. On top of that, Knight of Swords, who's had it, they don't want to go any further. The horse has had it, that's carrying them. They can't make it any further. What do we get from the Curious Creatures deck? The Magician. Okay, here we go. This is our PowerPoint. We had to get struck down in order to rise up, is the sense that I'm getting. This is headed where I thought it would head. Well, in this card anyway. The Magician is, utilizing your tools to go forward. We had a great compassion and worth in the past. We may have been hurt in our heart center. We may have been hurt physically. We may have been hurt on all levels in the past and had to overcome that to bring back ourself anew, right? With new revived energy. And I get a great cutting off of one energy to go. See, what I get from this, again, I'm getting these past life things. I'm getting a near-death experience, and I'm getting that was the cutoff to end the way that we were going. We could have died at that moment. We're choosing to come back, or we're brought back for a reason. And this is where we are feeling more powerful. We're feeling more powerful from a more centered part of ourselves. We're feeling more self-worth, all of this stuff. But there's still the essence of problems here in our belief system. Now, we have all the tools we need to go forward. We're feeling very empowered as we do this, as we go forward, okay? Now, on top of this Heartbreak card, which is backed by the Compassion, so are we, I don't know, let's what's there? We get the Six of Wands. That's a victory over heartbreak. So the sense is, if we use our compassion properly, we can, move forward. Somehow here we had our heart broken. It could be by a near-death experience that we had. It could be by seeing someone outside of us go through something like this. But nonetheless, we come through successful. The Six of Wands is like they're throwing all the roses on the stage. Good performance, great show. This is what we're getting. Accolades for our work. So this comeback that we have had, like there's a sense of us being in a pure zone here. And then after, there's the purity has risen into a strength rather than a weakness that we might have thought from that side of the fence. It's like two sides of the fence. We're jumping back and forth here. But we're here. But this cutoff that we had in our life in whichever way could have been a pivotal moment where someone around you died. You could have had a near-death experience, or you could have had someone around you have a near-death experience. It has completely changed our lives. And we are successfully now going on the right track. Is this something we need validation for? Do we feel like we're going off the rails? No, we're not. There are some problems here in our outlook and how we think about our future and the way, but we are going in the right direction. We are looking at the right things, and we are pointed in the right direction. It's just some of our belief systems are going to create hurdles for us we cannot overcome. And again, that's not going to change. So we have to work within that. And that's going to limit us, but that's the way we choose to do it. And we respect that. Okay? So your guides are making me aware that ain't nobody changing my mind on this. And it's not that we're trying to change your mind. We're trying to change your outlook. This badness energy has got to go. And if we feel the badness, then we leave that area, period. Because we have a great gut instinct, and we need to leave that alone. And it will take us in the areas. We don't dabble in areas that we feel are bad. We just leave it alone. And if we feel the need to go there, that's the problem, is we're going to eliminate these things. And how do I explain this? Because I feel like I'm offending them already, and I'm not. I'm trying to be neutral. But the problem here is we have a belief system that limits our ability to evolve, okay? We're not going to change that belief system. So in respect, we're telling you, stay away from that which you get a bad feeling. and honor that, to release that. Otherwise, you're going to be conflicted and your self-worth is going to go down, because you're going to dabble in these areas, feel bad, punish yourself, feel bad, punish yourself. That's negative energy. Reduce it altogether. Tighten your field. If you only want to talk about these certain things, you want to leave psychic stuff out of it, leave it out of it. Don't go there. If you feel the need to go there, don't beat yourself up about it. Don't be guilty for it. This is the problem. We feel guilt for going into psionic fields here, and this is the way of the future. So you will miss out on that, but that is your choice to prioritize the way you're thinking. I hate to put it in black and white, but there it is. Okay, Virgo, as we go forward, heaven and earth, this is a realm you are going to be very curious about. We're going to feel great guilt going in these areas and messing around with this stuff. And the thing is, where is our intention? Do we want to create good, or do we want to create bad? That's the bottom line. And if we feel guilt and dark energy, then we need to leave it alone. We're not ready for it. We need to remove ourselves from it. We don't want to put ourselves in any pitfalls too soon here. So that's their advice. If you don't want to deal with it, you feel a negative energy, leave it alone. Don't touch it. And maybe further down the road, you'll think differently. Maybe you won't. And just keep going down that road. You will find your way. You will find your way. Okay, so the Ten of Swords, again, that is about great betrayal that had come upon you. All having to do with this line of wanting to give up on life and whatnot. I feel like we recovered from that. And the clarification card on top of that from Curious Creatures is the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, and we worked hard to do it as well. Taylor, the seal is happy that they survived. They're happy that they got through life, and they're happy where they're at. They're a hell of a lot more happier than they were before this happened. And they kind of have to put things in perspective. Yeah. Don't let the trail of darkness pull you back any further into guilt, whatever. This kind of stuff, I feel like, yeah. We're opening up to a world of knowledge here that is way beyond what we learned. And we're not as open to it as we want to think we are. In our gut, we have things going on. And again, listen to that. You know, because I feel from the Virgo, it's like, well, if I don't go down that road, I'm missing out. Yep, you're missing out here, but you're still being true to your self-worth. And that's the bottom line here at this point. You need to be true to your self-worth. Because if you start knocking yourself down before you're ready, that is going to hurt you in the end. We're going to, you could possibly go off the trail more than refusing to deal with it at this time until we understand more. Because there's a vibrational frequency that we are at. There's a vibrational frequency the earth is emitting. And these two got to balance out. And what is happening is the earth is emitting this frequency and giving you these abilities, these heightened abilities, heightened awareness, all of this stuff. We have a certain belief system that doesn't agree with this in our field, that makes us feel guilty for having these things or utilizing them in any way. We feel bad about this. We're not ready. So we need to just step that aside, continue going down the road we're going, but just step that aside. I'm not ready. You have to admit that you're not ready. If we go in too soon, we could be pulled off track farther than we think we're in guessing mode here. Are we on the right track? We're kind of confused. You're on the right track. We just have to be true to all our emotions that we're feeling on a heightened level. Yeah, and this is confusing for the Virgo. They're working hard, putting in a lot of effort to go forward in this new energy, but we're getting antsy, we're getting anxiety, we're building, because we're going off in areas that are making us feel uneasy, and they're going, we just need to tighten that belt and just don't go in those areas. Maybe we need a break, maybe we don't need to go there altogether, maybe we're not ready at this point, but we will be in the future. Again, doors can open and close here. But there is something holding us back from that. And I don't feel that will change in this lifetime. I don't feel it. So we have to work with that, right? Um, how do you express? I'm trying to give a real world simple scenario. It's like, okay, we want to go out to a restaurant. I'm not in the mood for Chinese, so I don't want to go to Chinese. But maybe Chinese is where you're going to feel like you're satiated. I don't know. I'm using a bad example. But it's like we're avoiding things because we don't understand it and we're not ready to understand it. And that's fine. It's okay. Just go around it. Do other things. There's a pitfall here. If we go too soon into this, it could pull us off our dignity, our morality, this kind of thing, because we do think it's wrong at this point. And whether or not that's true or not, down the road, we will know more about that. We will know more. And then we'll be able to make decisions down the road that are more highly infused with wisdom here, having to do with, if that makes any sense here. Someone's very, yeah. It really does have to do with our abilities. For some reason, we feel like the abilities are the devil's toy, and we're not supposed to use them, and da. And so this is, a brainwashing of some sort that's been put in. Yeah, and with church and all of that, religion, it does make you feel, yeah. So, okay, let me question you this. If you go to church, and this is the block here. I'm not saying church is bad. I'm just saying it does limit you in certain advancement ways. It will stunt you. Now, what I'm talking about directly is if we're someone of the church, we go to church and the priest says, or maybe we have someone who has a premonition. What do you call that in the church? That's been ordained to give this advice. The problem here becomes that everybody's going to have that ability, not just someone in the church. Someone in the church is ordained by other priests that do it the same way. How do you express? It's like, can I baptize my own son if I need to infuse the light of God in him if I'm not an ordained priest? You can. It's not as powerful as an ordained priest because they have traditions and ways that they pray every day. They send all that energy every day. They have a routine that they go through, and they're supposed to be anyway more spiritually sound than someone who is just spiritual. Or does it in a passive way, because in the church you do daily, you have your routine that you do. So that is refreshed daily, hourly, whatever they do there. So in essence, it would be more powerful to do that. But does it mean that I can't, baptize, christen my son or daughter and put him under God on my own? Yes, you can. It's all in the intent. Again, it would be more powerful if you go to the church. It'd be more pure, of heart, because maybe you don't go to church. Maybe you believe in God, but you don't go to church every day. So you're not as empowered by that energy. Now, I'm already seeing conflict in this way, and I'm already feeling it highly on levels, is like, they say, well, psychics are bad or prophets are bad. You got to watch the prophets. What about the prophets under the church? Why are they allowed to do this and prophets outside of the church are not? I understand the theory is because, people outside of the church may not be trained on what's good and bad, so they may preach bad and not know it and be tricked. I absolutely agree with that, yes. And this can happen with baptizing. We could baptize the kid and not know what kind of energy we're introducing him to. Yes, this can happen. But it's all about the intent. In your heart, what do you want to do? You want to protect this child with the light of God. That is what matters. That's what goes through. And in the beginning, when I had my guides come in and they literally talk to me and say things and induce energy, they said to me, we could use crystals, balls, gems, crosses, whatever. But ultimately, we need nothing but the mind and the power of the mind to do and go to the places we need to go. So ultimately, we just have to have our intent. And if we have fear backing us going into this field of clairvoyance and all of these energies, if we have fear of this, that is a lower vibrational frequency. It will attract lower vibrational things. So that's why they're saying stay out until you feel comfort, until you feel more, whether it's knowledge you need to gain, wisdom about this particular subject, whatever. And then you feel confident and you're of a higher vibrational frequency and you're pure, then you go back in that new wave. And that may come and it may never come. But this is why, the reasoning why I'm saying what I'm saying, and I'm not saying it, they're telling me to translate it to you. Because I, on the level, don't know anything about you, don't know nothing about. But when the reading comes, then suddenly they open those doors. Because this is what we're asking for help here. And this is why I'm here, is to give that help to people who are willing to hear it. And some people may just hear 5 minutes and shut it down, and that's fine. And some people may just take from the energy and not give anything back, and that's fine. I've done my part. And here, you've done your part by coming out strong after this mishap, whatever happened here. And we have all the tools to get us forward. Again, go with your gut. If you're feeling uneasy about it, just avoid it. Go around it, and maybe in the future there'll be a better door where we'll feel in a better vibration. When we are degrading the self or feeling bad about going in this area, that is lowering our vibration, and it's not, it pulls us down in certain areas. So we want to stay high for as long as we can here. And hopefully that makes sense to you, Virgo. Yeah, a lot of energy going there. So the animal card, the divine animal oracle that we have to shut this down here is the dolphin, don't you know? I always say that's the highest vibrational thing you can have on this earth is the dolphin. They just want to make you happy. They just want to make you smile. They'll do anything to make you smile. They'll do anything to make you happy. 42. Happiness. It's all about the happy. And the Eight of Pentacles working. I feel like what we're working at now and towards the future, it does make us happy. We do. We get happy. So they're wanting you to embellish that. Anything that doesn't make you happy, don't go there. And even if it creates fear, don't go there. Avoid it for a while. Like we're not being how do you say? We can avoid it and go back to it when we feel stronger, right? Or, if we feel bad about something, again, we can go back to it when we feel in this happiness vibe. Because the bottom line is we need to get to our happy and then deal with all this stuff. Because there's a lot that falls away and there's a lot that can't get in when we're in the happy vibe. And there is something to that. Absolutely, there is. That's why they want you to look at the brighter side of things. Because if we're carrying something in our mind that's negative, it's very much impossible to be positive on the physical. If we got stuff rolling around in our mind that is negative. So we're just best to avoid that and go to what brings us to a happy field. And then maybe down the road, our perspective will change. I don't know. Again, I get a very strong centered energy. This block that is created here, we're not giving up on that block. So we have to work around it. And that's the advice they're giving you, is just work around things. If you don't feel good in your gut, just avoid it. Avoid it, go around it. And if it comes up again in the future, again, resort to your gut, your instinct, all those things that are unseen, because that's why they're there for you. And the more you utilize them, the more they will become less out there, and the more you will be able to, ground out with that, becoming a more normal thing. Somebody's really freaked out about psychic abilities, psionics, anything that is out of the ordinary that you can't see, you can't prove, da da da. And again, we're Virgo, so we need everything in paper and writing. And did you sign that? Okay, let me see. Like, they got to look through every little detail. And if they got none of that to look from, it's very unnerving to a Virgo to put any emphasis on this. But in the future, there's going to be a lot more emphasis put here. And maybe we're not going to be one of those that's ever going to go on that track, but we're going to have to respect it as we go forward. So that's the bottom line. Stay to your happy. We're doing things that are making us happy, and we're putting a lot of work and effort in, and that's being very successful. We have the tools we need to go forward. We're not off track. We're not off track. We just, again, have to listen to our instinct. If there's something that don't feel right, you're going to find out why. You're going to go down that road and find out why. And you can avoid things. Something about passing things off. Again, we don't want to miss things, but I don't know. We just may have to go down that road a little bit bumpy, is the sense, because we may have to tap into things that we had a feeling about and then find out, yeah, that was why I had the feeling. And then the next time we will listen a little sharper to that, this kind of thing. Yeah, wow, Virgo, you're going through some stuff here, but it's all on the level. We really think we're doing wrong, but we're not. It's just part of the evolution phase, and we're feeling a little more guilt about it, and that may be due to upbringing or social circles think in the same way, this kind of stuff. And it's I wouldn't say it's wrong, it's just closed-minded, a little closed-minded too. So we just have to open our field a bit more, and if we're not ready, we're just not ready. We have to admit that to ourselves. I'm not ready. Boom, that's it. And then you keep going down the road, and then when you are ready, because people will see through. They'll see through. They'll go, oh yeah, they're not ready. And then when you come on the other end and you say, okay, now I'm ready, people will feel that as well. So just don't try and fake anything. And don't try and bust through your instinct. You know, if your instinct's screaming at you, go left. Go left. Don't go in, no matter how much you get other people trying to get in it. That's the thing, is just to stay true to that. And I think the Virgo's smart enough to understand that on the level. So this is the last reading, and it was the most energy I put into one, I'll tell you. You went through something in your past. I do feel it's in your past, but for some it might be in their present, or in their future. Something life-changing. It's not just a little hiccup. It's a complete flip of the cart, and now you're going off on some other road completely. And this is the road you were meant to be on. And the sense here is we could have ended a life here. Like, I don't want to say that to create any weird energy, but if you were to end a life and start a new one, this would be the road you're going on. And sometimes I've heard of this where people, how would you say, there's an option to go, because I believe, and I heard a long time ago, and it's stuck with me since then, that you have 3 exits. And 2 are optional and 1 is not. And this would have been an optional, I think. But something here brought you back. And something here brought you to where you are today, and you're on the right track and you're going in the right way. We just have some hurdles to overcome, and how we go about that. We just want you to be true to the self as you go about it. Don't push your limits too far for others. Make sure you're comfortable first, because that will show, and we will deplete ourselves if we go jump too soon into, areas. Go when you feel on every level, intellectual, emotional, heart-centered, gut reactions. When they all line up, then you go. And you will know, because it will be old news by then. Maybe we don't want to be called old news, but that's the thing. It's like, okay, then I'm ready. And all you have is your integrity, so they prompt you to stick with that. So I'll leave it at that. Somebody here, I'm getting a masculine energy quite highly. Someone who's in their mind, they're all business, and they need to kind of loosen up a bit. But there's a lot of supernatural stuff coming in their field, and it's very uncomfortable for them to deal with. But as they go forward, just don't take on more than you can chew. really, is all. Just respect yourself and what you want to take in, because we're going in there no less. So you ain't going to miss anything because it ain't going to slip by you. It's going to be in front of you. But it's just when you decide to deal with it. You know, if you take the test too soon, you're not going to pass. You know, keep that in mind. If you take it too soon, you're not going to have all the facts there, so you could fail with a bad grade. So you don't want to do that. You want to get at least 70 or above, right? You want to get the ABs in the A's and B's. And I feel like we're not there yet. We're 50-50. Like, we're just like, I don't know if I have enough to blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm getting a very, like a fearful energy. And you don't want to go in that field of psionics in fear, because that's a low vibrational. Am I getting through? I'm having to repeat this 2 or 3 times. So if you're going into something out of fear, you know, and I've heard of people, like, I hate to go off on this track, but, you know, drug trips, they have a bad day and they go into a drug trip and they're off into devil land. Like, you cannot control that. So I would advise, you know, if you want to have the best outcome, you be in a high vibrational dolphin-like happiness state. And you have to feel that on all levels. All levels have to kick in. If your gut's going, then just back off. Just respect that gut reaction. Respect that field that's coming in. And then you will be able to adapt to it better on the other end, if that's what you choose to do. It's not like we can't choose to stay out. We can choose to stay out. But we would not advise it, because everybody's going in this way and everybody's going to be advancing, and then we will fall behind. Okay, Virgo, man, 4 and 2 is 6. That's over the halfway point and working your way forward. There is going to be in your future some stuff here having to do with all of this unseen that we're going to have problems with. Just deal with it as you will. Take care, have fun, and be kind, and we will talk to you soon.